And good morning, and how are you doing this morning? I hope you are doing great. I'm just welcoming you to our today's live stream. My name is Arafat once again, and we're here to talk about everything digital marketing. And today we're talking about social media marketing, particularly. And the big question in the room today is how to know if social media can actually grow your business, because there are very many misconceptions and very many myths around marketing your business on social media that happens, especially with all the very many social media marketing gurus that we have on the internet today. And we are here today to clear that smoke about social media marketing. So the first question that we have to ask ourselves is, what is that one thing that people always get wrong when it comes to social media marketing? First of all, very many people usually get to approach social media marketing the wrong way, looking at social media marketing as just another way of maybe rushing up that ladder of growth, especially when it comes to growing your business, just trying to find finding a quick win when building your business. But social media marketing is also just like any other marketing. It's just like building any other department of your business, any aspect of your business. Meaning it does take time, meaning it does take money, and it does take resources. Anybody that is going to take you to tell you that it is otherwise, they are trying to sell you something. Sure, there are very many shortcuts that you're going to come across when you're trying to do your social media marketing, like maybe buying a few followers for your account using programs and such. But still, it's not going to give you the return that you need, that you badly are looking for, especially considering that you've also put yourself in a situation of actually using money to buy such. Maybe even when it comes to scamming, yeah, a lot of practices around scamming using social media also happen, and very many businesses also fall for those practices. I'm talking about being spamming, using a lot of DMs, trying to reach out to as many people as possible, which usually end up having your account banned and getting you losing a lot of data about your business that you would have probably used in growing your business. Another misconception that I usually see when it comes to digital marketing or social media marketing particularly is the idea of you trying to create a lot of content. It doesn't matter whatever social media platform or whatever digital platform you're trying to market your business on. Creating a lot of content doesn't really count as a way of building your business. It is usually about the quality of the content that you're trying to create. So whether you are on TikTok trying to build your business on TikTok, you creating 5 videos a day for a full month or for 6 months consecutively is not really going to mean that it is automatically going to give you sales. You're automatically going to get customers. It does not work like that. Even on platforms like X or what used to be known as Twitter, where the platform really needs you to create a lot of content, it still goes back to a lot of to a huge focus on the quality of content you're trying to put out. Are they facts? Are you trying to entertain? How entertaining are they? Are you trying to educate? What exactly are you talking about? Are you an authority in the space that you're trying to educate in? So it does go back to your quality. It's more about the quality and less about the quantity of the content that you put out, that you promote with your business. Another big question is, how do you think most people struggle when it comes to, or why do you think most people struggle when it comes to social media marketing? Many people struggle when it comes to social media marketing because they approach social media marketing without a strategy. You using a business, you need a budget for your social media marketing. Just like how 25 years ago you would approach promoting your business on radio with money, you do also need to do the same when it comes to social media marketing. Sure, there are certain practices that you can take as a business that do not really require you to have money upfront, but still along the way, if you are building your business and you are looking to make money using social media, you are going to require your business to actually to invest some money into social media marketing. That is, if at all you want to grow and you're not necessarily on TikTok because everybody else is on TikTok. You are on TikTok because you want to be growing your business. So you definitely need to have a budget in place. And a budget doesn't really it's not advisable. It's not wise for you to just have a budget from day one. The budget has to be in your strategy. So what exactly is a strategy though? Because usually when I mention strategy, people get bored. They think that is marketing jargon. I'm trying to complicate things. But what exactly is a strategy? A strategy is, in the most basic understanding, a plan. And what is a plan? A plan is your roadmap. It is your way of knowing where you're going, why you're going there, what you're trying to achieve, and what exactly you have to do to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve. So when it comes to social media marketing, having a plan for your social media marketing means having a schedule for your content. What kind of content are you going to put out there? What platform are you going to be using? It's not advisable for you to use all the 8 platforms that we actively have in most African countries. That is not smart. You need to focus on platforms that actually have your customers. Yeah. And that is why you so bad it guides you on what exactly you are doing, why you're doing it, how much are you ready to invest in, and how much that is in terms of money and also in terms of time. So another question that we need to be asking ourselves is, what's the biggest lie the internet has made people believe about having success when it comes to social media marketing? So the internet has created this mentality of, if you want your business to actually achieve from social media marketing, you have to have a lot of followers for your business account, which is quite not right. You see, it basically goes back to the why, which is also answered by your strategy. Why are you doing social media marketing in the first place? You get, because you having 100,000 followers on Instagram doesn't necessarily mean that all of those followers are actually going to be your customers. Most of them are probably following you because maybe they liked the look of your business. Maybe they liked you as a person. Maybe they liked the fact that you are in the same industry as them. Maybe they are looking for a job. So there are very many reasons as to why somebody is going to follow you on Instagram, on TikTok, or on whatever social media platform that you're going to be using. So you having a lot of followers should not really be your biggest focus. You should not be obsessing about, I need to have a lot of followers to be doing professional social media. Is, how do you know when your business actually, or you as a person, understand about social media marketing versus somebody that doesn't really understand what exactly social media marketing is? Now, this question should come because you as a business owner are going to need somebody on your team, maybe. When I say team, it doesn't really mean that you have to be a company to have a team, but it might be your relative, it might be your cousin, yeah, it might be that son of your daughter, or that son of your sister that is around that could help you in social media marketing. But how do you know if somebody understands social media marketing or not? The very first red flag that you have to look at, as long as they're talking about followers, yeah, as long as they're talking about having getting your Facebook page to have a lot of page likes, that person doesn't really understand what social media marketing is all about. If they are talking about your post on Instagram having 2,000 people that it has reached, that person does not understand social media marketing, because reach doesn't also mean customers. Yeah, it doesn't mean sales. It does not equate to money you get. So if somebody is just talking in the parts of what we call vague metrics, yeah, page likes, reach of your video, comments on your video, follow vague metrics that are not really going to give the money that you have put into your social media marketing back into your pocket. So if you're trying to look out for somebody that is going to help you grow your business using social media marketing so that you can get the sales that you are badly looking for, and they are just talking about the followers, those vague metrics that we have mentioned, that person does not understand social media marketing, and that is a red flag. You need to look out for people that actually understand what exactly social media marketing is all about, and we are going to better dig into that as we go on. Another big question that you have to ask ourselves is, what does doing it right, or what does doing social media marketing right actually look like? Now, if you are trying to do social media marketing for your business, how you know that you're actually doing it right is if you have first of all gained the ability to collect data. Because when it comes to digital marketing, social media marketing is just an aspect of digital marketing. But generally, when it comes to digital marketing, data is the big decide of whatever we are doing. And when I say data, I mean whatever aspect of your market or whatever detail of your market you've been able to collect. Data can be your customer list. Yes, their phone numbers, their name, where they live, what they were looking for. If you are in an active, if you are in a more tech savvy market like say South Africa or Kenya, their email address is very important. Having that list of customers, that is called data. Now, when you are doing social media marketing the right way, you have to be focusing on what data you are collecting. Why are you collecting that data? How is it important to your business? Because sometimes you can do social media marketing and you're not necessarily getting any customers, especially upfront. If you are just getting started with doing social media marketing, I can guarantee you're not going to get any results as far as financial results are concerned, because the platforms that you're trying to do your social media marketing they don't even know you. They don't know your customers. They don't know what you're looking for. They don't have any data about your business. So you're not really going to get any return on investment as soon as now. But what I can guarantee that you're going to get is the data. When it comes to data, what are we talking about? Of course, there is a customer list, but also there is accumulating data on the specific platform that you are marketing from. For example, the longer you stay on Facebook and you are always maybe boosting your posts on Facebook and Instagram, Meta is going to reach a point where it understands you as a business. It knows what you do. Maybe you sell, say, wall hangings. Meta is going to understand what you are trying to sell. And as time goes on, if you're consistent, it is going to reach a point where it also knows what your customers look like. Now, that is the sweet spot of social media marketing, because when you reach that point, when the platform now understands your business and also understands what you're looking for, that is where the success starts. Because now you're not really going to be wasting a lot of money when it comes to social media marketing, because basically the platform is going to be doing the work for you. That to reach that point, you have to be very consistent and you have to be investing in it, in social media marketing, both time and also money. So when you have enough data in your business, when you have a customer list, when platforms now understand your business, when you have a strategy of what we call remarketing, because one good thing we have when it comes to digital marketing is you can actually remarket to your customers. So how remarketing works is you can run a campaign. For example, you can run an advert campaign on a platform, but you might not really get the customers to buy as soon as today. But what you can do is remarket to them. So if the customer saw your advert last time on YouTube, but they did not do it, they did not take any action, you can show them another advert that relates to how exactly they reacted to the first advert they saw. If they saw the advert before and they kind of watched it fully, maybe they are interested. So you can run another advert that now speaks to them specifically, because you know that they consumed whatever information you were promoting in the very first advert. So when you're also using remarketing in social media marketing, now that is where results start coming in from. So we've talked about having data, We've talked about having a remarketing strategy. We've also talked about consistency, making these platforms understand your business better than just you doing social media marketing on a one, two, just a trial and then running away, which is just going to lead to a lot of burnout, a lot of wasted budgets, and also wasted potential because most businesses can actually use social media marketing and reach their growth aspects or their growth goals. Another question that you have to think about is what habits or beliefs usually hold people back marketing. The first one is the frustration. People fear, when you hear social media marketing, you think you are, first of all, people have what you call camera sickness. Somebody's just going to say, I do not want to see my face on Twitter, on TikTok. I do not want to see my face on Instagram. I do not want to see my face on you. I basically do not want to be the face of the business. So that first anxiety that people usually get usually does hold them back. But you don't really have to be the person that is always in front of the camera. You can have somebody, like I said, if you run a retail shop, for example, you can have somebody on the side that is more comfortable in front of the camera and that is going to be talking about your business in front of the camera, telling it to the people more, talking more about it. You understand? At times, you might not even have somebody around you, but there are very many creative ways that you can promote your business on the internet without using your face. Because when it comes to social media marketing, people want the brand to be social, and to be clear, to be blunt, that means you being in front of the camera. But you can also be social. Your brand can still be human without you being in front of the camera. That is where using the power of audio comes in. How do you use music? How do you use your voice? You can narrate about your business when you are not necessarily in front of the camera. You're just behind and talk about your business, just behind the camera. But somebody still will watch that video and feel like this is not a robot, promoting the business. This is not just AI, So they get that connection with your business. They get that connection because they are connecting with a human being, not just another brand. There's a reason why big brands usually partner with influencers and brand ambassadors because these people have something they bring to the table. They make the brand personable. They make the brand feel like it is their own. It is a friend that is talking to them. Another aspect that usually holds people back is how much money do I need to invest in this to get the return, and how much time, in how long, Those are many questions. First, how much money do you want to invest? Now, digital marketing generally does not really give you a point blank amount of money you want to be investing in your marketing. Some people can invest at thousands of dollars, others can invest hundreds of dollars, and others can just invest nothing but time, So that should be related to how long and how far do you want your growth to go? Usually, a point that I usually give clients is when they ask me how much money am I paying, because that is a very big, sensitive question for many business owners. I just tell them, what do you want to do? How professional do you want to do this? How soon do you need the results? And how much results are we looking at? If it comes to sales, how much sales do you want? If it comes to maybe just building a customer list, how many customers do you want to have on your dashboard that you say, have these many clients that I can be contacting each and every other day to talk about this and this, So that just goes back to, where do you want to go as a business? How much professionalism do you want to use? How much capability do you want your business to have in a certain period of time, in say 6 months, in 2 years, in 1 year, in 3 months, you get? So that just goes back to, what are you looking for? You don't really have to freak out, when you think about the money that you have to invest in, because this is not traditional media where you go to a TV station, they say, this is our red card, we charge you these many millions that you have to be investing in so that you can occupy us for say a month or for 2 months. No, when it comes to digital marketing, everything is very flexible depending on what you want. What are you looking for? And even when it comes, even in regards to time, it still goes back to, how long do you want to be doing this, or how much patience do you have as a business owner to continue doing this on a regular, on a daily basis? Another big question is, what's one uncomfortable truth people need to accept when it comes to digital marketing, or when it comes to social media, before they can grow? Yes, a very uncomfortable truth is you're not going to get the results today. Yes, you're not really going to get the results as soon as now. You understand? Because sure, there are also strategies that we can lay that you can use in your business to get the results that you need as soon as now. But usually, first, they require an investment upfront. You get, especially if your business is just getting started. If you are just a business that is thinking of getting started with digital marketing or with social media marketing, you're definitely going to have you're going to need an investment, a financial investment for your business upfront. Practices do lack ethics. There are certain things that you might want because you want this to happen fast, and you're just going to end up screwing up your account. It is just going to get banned, shadow banned, or even restricted, especially if you're using platforms by Meta. They have a lot of restrictions around them. If you're marketing from an African market, you know what I'm talking about. You know how stressful it can get. Instagram is suddenly restricted, your Facebook is suddenly restricted. Those kind of things are just going to hurt you, to hurt the growth of your business. So you do not really want to go that route, yeah, when it comes to achieving the results that you are looking for. Another big question is, how does ego or fear play into the growth that you get with your social media marketing? Fear is a lot, especially for business owners. They usually freak out when they hear that um, we need your brand to have a face. Almost no business owner wants to be in front of the camera. For some reason, they do not want to be seen on social media, but they want to use social media to get the money, right? Now, that fear, that camera sickness is a big problem, but it always has a solution. You can have somebody. Like I said, if you run a retail shop, you can have somebody at the side that you say, you know what, Benjamin is going to be in front of the camera, so he will talk to the people. So that could also be another factor for you to consider when next time you're looking for somebody that is going to be the shop attendant of your retail business. Let them be comfortable, let them be able to speak, let them be confident in themselves enough to be in front of the camera, because social media marketing is about making your brand social, not pushing the marketing. There's a reason why you do not watch adverts on TV, because you've been watching your TV show and then suddenly an advert pops up. You want to change the channel as soon as they're just going to try to sell to you. But if you have somebody in front of the camera, they can create that emotional attachment with your audience, and with time, your customers get to love your brand for the person they see on camera, because they relate with them, maybe by age, maybe by stories, maybe by the way they speak in front of the camera. So that is very important for you to have somebody on the side. Another fear is, of course, how much money do I need to put in? But like I said, that goes back to what results are you looking for? How soon? How professional do you go? Where is your business standing right now? Sometimes you cannot soon as I'm going to do social media marketing, how much money do I need? No, where am I right now? What am I trying to achieve in how much time? Yeah, and how professional do I want to go? Another big question is, why do you think most people avoid facing the truths even when it's obvious? Now, business owners generally are naturally meant to be ambitious, right? So they want to achieve something and they want it now. That is how they end up burning through a lot of advert budget, a lot of marketing budget, because they wanted to try those tips. Somebody popped up on their TikTok and they said, you know what? If you use this sound, you're going to get a lot of people to know about your business. And guess what? It does not really work out. It doesn't really work like that. At times, somebody pops up into their DM and tells them, you know what, I'm going to sell you 100,000 followers on Instagram. And they get into that, spend a few hundreds of dollars, and you have the followers, but your posts don't even have a single like. Yeah? Now, that is money poorly spent, because you would have used that same money to run a brand awareness advert, perhaps, that could have given you a lot of likes. Yeah, if that is your thing that you're looking for. So usually it is the need to get things as soon as today, trying to achieve everything as soon as now, being on that rush, that leads a lot of business owners to even leave the most obvious things, because correct things are usually boring. Me coming here and telling you, what you're going to need to invest time in growing your business organically, it's very boring. But if I came here and I said, I can help you build your business in 2 days and have that's exciting. It is going to be very easy for you to jump onto that wagon, more than me telling you the reality, the sad truth. So that's always wanting to get it done and achieve it today. That is a poor mindset when it comes to marketing, especially if we are looking at growing a business the most efficient way. And lastly, if you had to summarize the issue in one sentence, what would it be for social media marketing? Generally, if you want to grow your business on social media, yeah, be ready to invest in some money, be ready to invest in some good time, and please accept to make your brand social. Go from just posting a bag and say, we sell bags, can support us, to saying that if you're tired of having poor quality bags, we have better bags. If you're a lady that needs a beautiful bag that is long lasting and comes from Australia, we have beautiful bags. Those two statements make a lot of difference. One is direct selling. People are going to skip that. The other is speaking to somebody's pain. Somebody out there is tired of buying fake bags. So you are solving that problem. Try to be able to be that emotional support that somebody needs when it comes to the challenge that your business solves. So make your business, invest money, but also time when it comes to social media marketing. It is not just another thing that you're going to be jumping onto. Let me just try out some Instagram. Maybe it should also be on Twitter. Maybe also be on TikTok. Let me also join search. All that is just going to waste you a lot of money, but also a lot of time, and it's going to lead to a lot of burnout. Yes. So what is the solution for all of this? So let us talk about the solutions that your business need if you are ready to grow and to grow efficiently. Onto that, first we need to accept that most brands that you are looking at today on social media that you admire, those brands have been doing whatever you see that they are doing today for years, yeah, for months and most times for years. So you have to also be ready to invest the equivalent of that you get in different ways, either by using a lot of money or by also going the route they went, by giving it time and doing this consistently. So where should someone really start if they want to fix their social media marketing? First, start by understanding your customer. Who are you selling to? Yeah. If you're selling shoes, they are whose, who actually is going to buy your shoes, because shoes have different types and every type of shoe actually serves a different. Now that role is important to different people. You might be selling sports shoes. That means that you need to be looking at sports people, but at the same time, not all sports people. It might go back to your price. How expensive are your shoes? If they are too expensive, that means you are going for elite for the elite segment of that market. So if you're looking for sports people that want to wear shoes, you want to be focused on the people that are that are in the top part of the pyramid. Those people are going to be your target audience. Now, understanding where your elitist segment of your market is very important. But the first question is understanding who are you selling to. Second, where are these people? Because you might be the same person that is using X, formerly Twitter, also using TikTok, also using Facebook, also using Instagram, also using YouTube. But you are always in a different mindset on all of these on all of these platforms. You might go to Twitter because you want to see what is trending, and also to get informed, to see what is the government doing, what is Minister so and so saying, to get some tips, maybe to also laugh to a few jokes. But you might go to TikTok because you want to be educated. Sorry, you want to be entertained. You want to see some dance moves. You want to see some comedy skits. You want to see some satirical content that you're going to find on TikTok. But if you go to YouTube, you're going to be in a different mindset. You're going to be in the mindset of education. You want to know more. you want to learn, you want your eyes to get opened. So all of these platforms have their brands around them, and your customers also the same way, because somebody that is on YouTube is going to be in a different mindset. So if you're looking for example, that the example that we're using earlier on of elite sports people, if you're looking for those people, where are you going to find them? Most likely, they're not going to be on TikTok. They are most likely maybe going to be on Instagram and perhaps on Twitter. So you have to be there. You don't really have to be on Snapchat. No, you do not need that. And hell, you don't need to be on LinkedIn because your customers are different. There is no reason as to why a sports person is on LinkedIn reading long articles. Those are business people and corporate guys that are doing that. So you do not want to put yourself on LinkedIn because your target audience is different. So first things first, clear out all those 10 social media accounts that you have. Clear them all off. Delete them. Yeah, for your business. Maybe for your personal use, you can stay all over the place, but for your business, delete them. Keep only two, at most three platforms. Those three platforms are going to be very manageable for you. You're going to know what you tweeted, you're going to know what you posted on TikTok, and you're also going to know what you posted on Instagram. This way, it is going to keep your business very, very manageable throughout, and it is also going to delay burnout that you would have experienced if you were all over the place. Because think about this, you have to post on YouTube, you have to post on LinkedIn, probably also want to do some email marketing, and you're also on WhatsApp, but you're also on Facebook, you're also on Instagram, but you're also on TikTok, but you're also on Twitter. And you have to create content for all of these platforms because you're looking for the growth, you're looking for the growth that you need in your business. So how do you do all of that? How do you juggle all of, because you're running a business, you have other things to do besides just marketing your business. You also have to manage the expenses, you also have to manage the people that you work with, you also have to manage the stock. A lot of things go into running a business that So you want to be on platforms that are not going to frustrate you, that are not going to overwhelm you, that are not going to become too much for you to manage. So understand your customer, know where they are, and focus right there. Then another big question is, what's the simplest step people overlook when it comes to making a difference in their social media marketing? That is focus. When you hear focus, it is also boring. To tell you that, just focus on one platform, for example, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Because you're like, what if that account gets closed down? But guess what? If you're using just one platform and you're just focusing on that one platform, you're going to understand that platform fully. You're going to know its terms, its privacy policies. You're going to understand its terms of service. You're going to understand what you must post, what you must not post, how you must say what you want to post, how you must not say because your customers will not like it, what you should show, what you should not show, And with time, you're going to see that you get momentum much faster because you're giving this specific platform a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of push. Where you need to spend a few dollars, you do, because it is going to give you the return that you need in your business. So instead of juggling a lot of bosses at the same time, just use focus in your business. Even when it comes to content, use focus. Do not try to write articles and then do videos and then also do photos, but then you also want to do tweets, but then you also want to do some email marketing on the side, but then you also want to do some DMs on the side. That is going to lead to a lot of frustration. It is better for you to focus on 1-2 content formats. If you're doing video, good. Maybe give it also some short form written content, or maybe some pictorial content. That is okay. Just go with that. Just focus with that. It's not going to overwhelm you, even when you start advertising online. Another question is, what's one thing people should stop doing immediately? One thing you should stop doing immediately is jumping onto different trends. Somebody say TikTok is not big, so you're on TikTok. And suddenly Snapchat starts trending, and then you're on Snapchat. And then tomorrow somebody says X is big now because Elon Musk is there. Now you're also on X. Then Facebook is now big again. Now you're on Facebook, Stop following those trends because trends change, It's like using music as your center strategy when promoting your business on TikTok. You're looking out for what trending sound is there, what trending music is on now. What do I use in my marketing on TikTok? Because I need that sound now. I need to jump onto that. You're all over the place. That is just going to confuse you because social media marketing is one of the fastest industries. Something that was big in January, I can assure you today in November, That is no longer the case. You get video about 5 years ago, video was not a big case. Very few people were even doing video marketing. Today, video is big, and we can predict that in the next 3 years, it's going to be off the charts. It's now going to go audio. Now, if you're just always jumping all over the place, you're going to always left out because everything is always moving. Just like how you see a hashtag on Twitter that is trending at 10 a.m. in the morning, by 12 p.m. it's no longer trending. People have already moved on. You know, if you're focusing on what big news is happening anywhere that I have to also attach myself to, you're going to get overwhelmed because a lot of things happen on the internet. The internet is a busy place, you know. Just when you understand some political agenda, then some music pops up, then some comedian does this, then some sex video gets leaked, and you're also trying to put yourself into all those cracks as a business. You're going to get frustrated and you will get tired of social media marketing. So just find your route, just find your platform, just find your strategy, do that. Focus on the data. Look at the analytics that you're getting. How is your marketing reacting to what you are doing? Are they reacting positively? Are those curves going up or are they going down? Or are they not? Just look at those. That is what is supposed to tell you what to change. When you do videos and you start all of the trends that you're having are perhaps just flattening out, that means people are not really watching them. That is where you need to change. Not because your neighbor is now doing more audio, not because of that. It is supposed to be in your phone. That TikTok analytics page, that is what tells you what your business is supposed to be doing going forward to start growing your business. So focus on what your business is getting its ROI most from by looking at your data. And if I had to create a 3-step plan for improvement, this is what exactly it would look like. I think I have already covered most parts of it. First, understand your customer. Once you understand your customer, you're going to know where your customer is. Second, have a strategy. Once you have a strategy, you're going to know how much money you need to spend, how much time you need to put in, how much content you need to create, how much time you should be looking at to start getting the results that your business can get. Yeah. Once you have a strategy, now the most boring part is be consistent. Yeah. The content that you've started creating, make you are in a position to create that content for a full year without backing down. Yeah. If it is you rate videos every now and then on a consistent scale, it doesn't mean that you have to be always creating 5 videos a day. That is going to overwhelm you. But if you're creating 4 videos a week and you know which days that you are posting and you consistently post on these specific on these specific days, it's going to get very easy for you. It is going to get very manageable for you because let's say on Monday, let us shoot all the 4 videos. Let us look at that we are promoting, add some satire, some humor, add some promotional content, add some educational content, and introduce something new about your business. Create those. Schedule them. Platforms like TikTok already have scheduling systems where you can just put the videos throughout the week, and the platform just serves out the videos when the time comes. Puts it out on Monday, puts out another one on Wednesday, puts on Friday, another one on Sunday. You're free. You get. Now, all the other time, you can focus on other things. Even when it comes to advertisements, this is very, very important. Consistency is key. How much money are you ready to invest? When I ask that, I do not mean now. I mean forever. Because if you start running adverts on Instagram and you're spending $5 a day, make sure that you are able to spend between $5 to $15 for the next 3 months, for example. You have $5 the first month. By the end of that month, you're going to need to budget, because in the next month, if you stay on the same budget, the platform is going to start downplaying your advertisements because other bidders are coming up in the market. If you're selling clothes, other boutiques are also spending money on the same platform. You are competing with them. Other people are spending $10 and you're still on $5. Your adverts are going to stop being served out. You're going to stop getting the results that you need to get in your business. So instead of you spending $10 because that is what you can now, spend what you can minimally at the start and be ready to increase that to a certain maximum and give that some good time. Yeah. So do not commit a budget because that is one the same way. Another Question is, what's a small daily action that you can that you can do that lead to huge results over time? A daily small action that you can be doing to improve the results that you're getting from your social media marketing is making your business available. This is where customer care comes in. Yeah, when you see a brand whose content lacks people are commenting, people are leaving comments, but you do not respond. People leave messages in your DM, and you are too busy. You don't really have the time to respond. People come to your WhatsApp, and you take hours. You're losing a lot. Yeah, you have to be available. That is where having somebody on the side that is available for your social media comes in, because engagement drives everything. Even on platforms, and when you're running advertisements, when a platform like Meta is serving out your adverts and people are leaving comments, but you never care to respond, that is one of the red flags that they look at, and they be like, these adverts are not of good quality, so we need to cut on we need to reduce on the way that we serve them out there. So that leads to you spending more money in your advertisements while seeing less results, because the platform doesn't just look at how much money you're paying it. It also looks at what's the quality of the content, but how available is this business when it comes to engagement. If somebody left a hi on Messenger, do you take 3 months to respond another hi? Do you even do not care? Because there are business people that I've worked with that say, I just hate Messenger. So if somebody leaves me a message, they'll cater for themselves. My guy, trust me, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of businesses that are actually selling what you are selling. So the last thing you want to do is saying whatever, because the internet is a very competitive place. If somebody leaves a message, be available. Be very, very, very proactive when it comes to social media marketing. So the tiniest things that you can do to make your business different is be available online. When somebody mentions you in a video on TikTok, for example, be available to respond, thank them. Just that thanking is enough. If somebody left a negative review on your Google business page, go there and respond. Tell them how to solve the problem. They might not respond back, but that shows a lot, because the platform itself is looking at how you responded. If they left a negative review today and you responded at the same day or on the same day, that shows the platform that this business is proactive. That means that the next time somebody is looking for your services in your area, you're going to be one of the people that is going to pop up. And even the customers that are going to be looking at your profile going forward, they're just going to look at the responses that you give and say, you are available. This business has customer care. Perhaps this is where I have to go for my dental problems, or for my clothes, or for my electrical issues, or for my whatever service that you are selling, or whatever product that you're selling. So be available, and that will make a lot of sense. Minor as it looks, it is very, very important. Another question is, what's the difference between people who figure this out and those who never do? People that figure out the hard truth about social media marketing usually grow better. Yeah, those are the people that you see get started this year, and they're just posting what is very, very ordinary, but very, very regular. And in a year or two, you'll come back and you'll find a very big following on their account, and engagement rate on their content, and perhaps they are getting the returning on investment that they are adding to your business, to their business. Yeah. So a business that is always available online, that is consistently doing whatever doing. Yeah. A business that is following a certain brand theme. They are very consistent with their brand theme. They easily get loved by customers, because people online love interactivity. They love it when because there's also a reason why big businesses today have their CEOs also have big social media accounts. Yeah, the types of Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg of this world and such always make sure that they're also available. That makes their brand personable, but the consistency behind that makes their business different. Yeah, it just makes everybody easily fall in love with your brand, and if you're consistent with that, it leads to growth. 2 years might sound a lot when you are just getting started, but 2 years of growth really mean a lot. You're going to reach somewhere. You're going to go faster than than you even expected. So consistency is very, very important. Another question is, what tools or systems can make this process easier? I mentioned scheduling lately. That is called adding automation to your social media marketing. Use automation. When people hear AI, they think it is another trend. Not really. AI is applied in different aspects when it comes to digital marketing. Sometimes AI is actually serving your business without even you caring. Yeah. For example, things products like the WhatsApp API, where you can that you can integrate on an artificial intelligence agent that can actually converse with your business. You can apply that. Yeah, it's just it is just an idea. That is one of the things that you can do to make sure that your business is consistent in different ways. Use AI, use automation when you're creating content. You don't really have to say every other day we have to take an hour to create content, edit it, or 3 hours, create content, edit it, post it. It is likely going to burn you out. But if you're a business that is quite busy, you might say, let's get one day in a week that is not so busy, create content on that particular day, edit it, and make it available. Create content on Sunday, edit it, have it scheduled on a platform. Meta already has this. It is probably the oldest platform to ever introduce this feature. Put the content on the platform, let it serve it out. So you don't always need to be on the phone posting out, and you know. So if it comes to customer care and you feel like you don't really have the time to be available to respond to comments, DMs and such, AI agent, you can just add it to your WhatsApp. When somebody comes to you train it about your business. Somebody comes to WhatsApp and asks about that product that is available. Hi, don't how may I help you today? And you can always customize it to speak like a person. Yeah. So that's employing of AI really helps. Another very important thing is when it comes to data management. So remember when we talked about collecting data in your business, this getting systems or platforms that can help you manage this data in ways that can turn this data into money. If you collected 100 customers in a list, you have their phone number, you have their email, you have their name, where they are, and what they are looking for. This is where you get a platform like a CRM that might be corporate, but even in your business, you can also apply it. You can get a CRM platform, customer relationship management platform, that helps you send out emails every now and then to your customers, asking them, hey, you visited my website, but you did not buy. How about I give you a 5% off on our first consultation if you're a service business? Purchase that you or whatever product you looked at the jumper that I sell in my business and you never bought it. How about I give you 25% off and you get the jumper? That is remarketing. That is getting your customer to realize, hey, actually I found that sweatshirt a bit expensive, so I left, but now they're giving me 25%. Let me go back and check it out. Maybe make that purchase. So that is very, very important. Employ those systems that help you manage that data. So when you collect a customer list, don't just keep it in a Google spreadsheet. That is not how business works, because it is just going to sleep there. And also, when you collect that quantity, that data, do not keep it for a very long time, because you collected somebody's phone number in January, and then in September, that is when you first reach out, they've already moved on. Probably they don't even need your product anymore. So if you did not have any automation, any automated systems in place, you've already lost that customer. In marketing, there is something we call a cold customer, a warm customer, and a hot customer. Whenever a customer contacts you, they are a warm lead. When they do not know you, they are a cold lead. And when they pay you, that is a hot lead. Now, when a customer gets in touch with you and you take forever to get back in touch, they're going to get back to being a cold lead, because they see a lot of other competitors on the same platform where you got them. Because these platforms work like this. If they saw a post, an advert that sells shoes, and they liked it, they reacted to it, the next time that same platform is going to show them another person that sells those shoes or something that talks about shoes, because the platform learned that this person likes shoes. So if somebody came to WhatsApp, you never cared to follow up. When they come back to the same platform, that platform is going to show them your competitors. You just lost the customer. Yeah, just because you don't care about responding on Messenger, or because you do not have time. You're very busy, so you cannot really respond to WhatsApp messages. That is where automation helps you. That is where you have an agent to respond back. Then another tool that I could mention is remarketing. I mentioned about remarketing, making sure that when you run an advert, somebody takes an action, but they do not convert into a paying client, you can always follow them after. You don't really need to call them or message them. But if somebody say saw your advert and left a comment, and you have a big amount of comments but no sales, that means that you can tell Facebook, hey, I have a lot of comments, but I need you to go back and tell these people that I actually still exist, so they must buy. You know, so if at first people were promoting the shoes that you have, the next time they open Facebook, they might see an advert still from you, but that says we have a 10% off this Black November, this Black Friday. And Black Friday is coming, by the way. We need to also talk about that's for another day. And another big question is, how do you know your strategy is actually working? Very, very important when it comes to social media marketing. Strategy, as I mentioned, is very important. It is very, very crucial for you to have a strategy in place. But how do you know if your strategy is working? Because when it comes to things like traditional marketing, if you went to and started putting up billboards on a road, you're not really sure if people are actually seeing the billboards, or if customers that you're getting are actually coming through that billboard. But that is where digital marketing comes in. Because in digital marketing, the alternative of billboards are called display ads. I don't know if I know you have actually seen them. If you've been on Google and you've been watching an article, there is those adverts that pass by. Those are called display ads. They're out there, the alternative of billboards. Now, with digital marketing, we have all the data. That platform is literally tracking each and everything that person is doing when they are looking at your advert. If somebody was scrolling through and they came across your advert, as they were scrolling at, say, a speed of 3 taps every second, but when they saw your advert, they slowed down. That platform is tracking that. It is trained to learn and see, this person actually, I think, like this advert. All of those minor aspects of the data are very, very important. That is where you go back to the dashboard, because any platform, the very first thing they first figure out is how to show you the analytics page, how you see that graph going up and down and up and down again and flattening. Go back to that analytics page, look at it closely. Always use those filters to see which the timing brackets. What did customers do between Monday and Tuesday? How did they react between my content between Wednesday and Saturday? What did they do at the start of the year? What are they not doing now at the end of the year? What were they doing in the middle of the year? What is the best season for me? Because digital marketing gives you all this data. You can access it. You can always read it. You can see who is commenting, who is not commenting, who is interested, who is not interested in whatever I sell. So go back to this data. Always look at the data. All the details are always in the data. If you spent $1,000 on your adverts last month, how did that $1,000 equate to the $5,000 of sales that you made? Perhaps that information is in the data. You can see people went to my online store and they bounced. That means that advert platform is not working out. That means that money is wasted. Let's look at another platform, or perhaps that platform does not really have a problem, but your content does have a problem. The same content again and again and again leads to advert fatigue. So let us see how exactly you can create a lot of a big catalog of content that you can always tap into as you start advertisement. So all the details that you're looking for, how do I know if I'm making money? Those details are in the data. Yeah, they are not out there for you to just be guessing about. And another one is, what's one mindset shift? Mindset shift that changes everything in this thing called social media marketing. Remove this mindset of trying to achieve everything today. Yeah, just change that. Just forget about it. Yeah, you do see people that say that he started posting last month and now he's trending. Those cases do happen, but not every time. Yeah. So if you want to be reasonable, and I'm trying to be very reasonable here, you do not really want to be caught in that cycle of I'm trying to also post frequently and then I trend so that I can trend on TikTok tomorrow, so that I can trend on Twitter. It doesn't really work like that. And usually, even the people that you start trending because they are doing some things. Yeah, you might be seeing somebody that is trending on Twitter suddenly, but that person is actually partnering with some influencers on the side. That is why you're seeing them now trending on Twitter. You get, so it might actually be their strategy that is just working out, and you cannot really know that if you are on the other side of the coin, if you're on the end. Another one is, if someone applied what we just discussed for 30 days, what would change for them? That is a very, very important question. So if you applied consistency in social media marketing, what might change for you? That is, if you had your content consistently created, your adverts consistently created, maybe even the way that you portray your brand consistently for the next 30 days, the most probable result that you're going to be is growing your sales part and less about your metric part. Because if you are that consistent in all those areas that we just talked about, you are likely going to be tapping into the right customers for a very long time. Yeah. So you are going to be able to make the money from your customers because you're giving them yourself as different, but also available to assist in case of anything. So the most likely results that you're going to be getting is perhaps some effects on your sales. Not a boom where you are going to be seeing 10x the results from last month, but you will start to see some changes that you're achieving when it comes from your social media marketing, when it comes to how you've been promoting your business. So you will see some changes. I can't give you a number, no, and I cannot guarantee a very big shift, but you can expect some return on investment, basic return on investment. And if you stay that consistent for the next, say, 3 months, 6 months, that is where the results seriously start pouring in. But if you are doing social media marketing the right way, your audience is not really going to grow as fast. Yeah. But what is going to be growing is your customer list, meaning people that are willing to buy from you but are not ready today. So they leave you their phone number, their name, or perhaps they chat with you on WhatsApp and just ask you info, or people that actually buy from you but gradually. And then if you stay consistent like that, those same people are actually going to be bringing the other people. So your audience will start booming up, but after you getting the serious business results that actually matter for business. And yes, that is it for this segment. And let us have the real talk of the day. And yes, so now let us talk how you go through growing your business on using social media the most strategic way. Yeah. Now the big question, if we're looking at this, is some of the real stories and the real struggles or the real wins that I have seen happen in the industry, mostly because of the poor way of approaching social media marketing. And yes, so let us start here. Um, let us start with how exactly I personally have struggled when it comes to growing social media. Yeah. First of all, burnouts are quite normal. It is most likely you're going to face some burnout when you're trying to build this social media. Yeah. Because you might be looking at different accounts or maybe even competitors in your space, and you feel like, you know what, nothing is really working out. You get, because I am posting consistently on my socials, but nothing is actually turning up. I'm not getting the sales that I need, or even perhaps, even if you're just looking for brand awareness, I'm not really getting the followers that I would dream of getting. I'm not really getting the engagement rates that I need on my account. So what exactly is not happening? What do I have to be doing? What should I be doing differently? This is very, very normal, especially in platforms on Twitter. At one point, I had my Twitter account grown because I did try to grow this handle for some good years, and then suddenly the platform was like, you know what, you're spamming, so you're going to block the account. And yes, they did ban it. Meanwhile, I had already created a lot of content on the account, and it just got banned just like that. So I lost, because when Twitter bans your account, it literally deletes all the people that have been following you, meaning it gets them all to automatically unfollow you. So you go back to 0 followers suddenly. And even the people that you are following also get disconnected from you. They all just go back to 0 following, So you literally, like, you're just on the platform. So this is very, very possible, and you are also likely to face these things, especially if you try to approach the platform in ways that are not quite recommendable. Yeah, but also if you try to approach social media marketing like it is a sprint, you are likely going to burn out, because you're going to be trying to grow your account with 20 followers, and somebody out there has 1 million followers. Yeah, now, obviously, the other guy is going to be making better return on investment from their account. But that does not really mean that you have to just look up to what they are doing now, because you do not know where they started. You do not know what they've been doing. You do not know what is happening behind the scenes. So you cannot really follow their strategy from the level at which you have found them, and think that is actually also going to affect your business the other way around, and to grow. That is not how things do work. So you want to be you want to create a space where the pressure that you see around social media that does not really get to you. Yeah, you build social media depending on what you want to achieve, and I think that actually also applies to a lot of things, to a lot of different things in life. So try to just zero down on what you have to be focusing on as a business, not what everyone else is doing, or what a better guy in your space is doing. And the other question is, what moment made me realize things had to change? Yeah, because platforms like Twitter, for example, and I think also TikTok in the same segment of pushing you to create a lot of content. TikTok is one platform that literally just survives on a lot of content. You creating a lot of videos is how the platform runs. You get. But at the same time, it doesn't play it fair with smaller accounts, because even content, but as long as that content is not actually good quality. By quality, I mean it is not entertaining, it is not well edited, it is not informing anything, it is not trend worthy. In other words, it is still not going to grow. So how exactly I understood that I had to make to cut down on the pressure that I was putting myself on, even when it comes to different social media platforms, both the likes of TikTok or X, was first of all understanding that the kind of people that I was trying to actually communicate to were not even always available online, because personally, I was targeting business owners, people that run their businesses. A person that runs their business is not really going to be on TikTok for, say, 6 hours a day, right? Those are the guys that you're going to find at maybe 45 minutes to an hour and a half. So if you are always juggling, creating a lot of content, you are just going to get burnt to get burnt out. So first, I understood my customer. Which person was I trying to go after, and were these people actually active where I was trying to go for? Because business owners, I realized that TikTok is not the best place to find them. Yeah, business owners perhaps might be on other platforms. Instagram better, but X much better. And if it comes to corporate leaders, LinkedIn much better. So first of all, the platform on which I was stressing myself with, which was TikTok in this case, was not really the appropriate platform for me to be in the first place. So I had to focus on what platform I had to go for. That is LinkedIn, mostly, a little bit of X2, and then YouTube, because those are the spaces where the kind of people that I was trying to tap into where. So first of all, I understood my customer. When you understand your customer, it's very, very easy for you to figure out where you should be focusing your energy, where you should give all your time to, not in a way that is going to get you burnt out. And then another question is, what's a mistake I've made early on that others can also learn from? I think fully relying on fully relying on what is happening on the platform or what is happening in the industry, it's just going to also get you burnout, it is just going to frustrate you. You get, so if you are always in the next big hashtag, especially in this year, it is just going to really give you a lot of frustrations, but also downplaying the effectiveness of advertisements. Yeah, because when you hear advertisements, of course you have to pay money, and that paying money usually gives that usually gives a certain feeling on the tongue of business owners. And unfortunately, when you put spending money to your marketing aside, that means that you're just going to get stunted. Yeah, you're not going to get the the growth that you are actually capable of getting in your business. So as you get started with your social media marketing, please plan for some money to be spent, because if you just do not want to spend any money anywhere, you're going to really get frustrated because of the slow growth. Because most of the platforms that we have today have reached a stage what we call maturity. Yeah, they have matured, and as they mature, it means that they cut on the organic content that they serve out there. So they reduce the reach. If you post something on Facebook, for example, it promises you about 2% to 5% of your following. So if you have say 200 people that like your page, that means that we're looking at about 5% of those, and that means about 5 people literally that are going to see your post. Yeah, so you're going to need a very, very big audience for you to get the reach that you need. That is where adding in some few dollars comes in. So especially if you're trying to just get brand awareness, it doesn't hurt for you to spend maybe $1 a day, maybe $2 a day, to see that you can reach a few hundreds of people as you grow slowly. Remember that you have to choose a budget that is actually very comfortable for you to spend consistently going forward. Um, Another big question is, how did that experience make me feel at the time? It was very, very frustrating. Yeah, because you look at how much time you've been putting into creating the content, and how much brain cells that you have to put in to try to create content that is actually fitting what you are trying to promote. You get, so if a platform suddenly turns up and say, your account is now banned and you're gone, that is very, very frustrating, obviously. But also that was a mistake that I was actually making, and something that is very important for me to also mention. As you grow your following, try to convert your following into a customer list. Yeah. So as people get to start following you, add a way of them opting into something off the platform, because all the data that you have on that platform is not yours. The data that you have on TikTok is owned by TikTok or ByteDance. The data that you have on Facebook is owned by Meta, not you. So tomorrow, Meta can just wake up and restrict your Facebook page. What do you do then? What happens? Are you just done? But if you have been prompting your customers to leave you their phone number, and leave you their name, you get maybe even their email address, it means that you're building a customer list on the side. Customer lists help a lot because you can do promotions without spending any money. You get, so at a certain point, you might say, let me just get my 200 customers and send them an email and tell them, hey, I have some new stock. Send them a WhatsApp message at bulk, everybody. Tell them, hey, we have some new stock you might want to pass by. Out of those 200, some three might turn up, and those three are going to be sales that you've made without you spending money. Yeah, you just went there and sent a message to all your customers. That is very, very important, and it highly helps. So another big question is, the lesson that took me the longest to learn is that creating a lot of content doesn't really mean that you're going to get the results. Yeah. Sometimes you might just be posting once, especially on platforms like LinkedIn. You might even be posting just once a whole week. And that once actually makes a lot of difference because it reaches a lot of people. And some of these platforms have what we call longer expiry periods, because when you post content on a platform, there is a phase of expiry that piece of content goes through. For example, if you posted a video on TikTok, they grant you about 6 to 12 hours of that video being running. Meaning during that period, that video is actually being subbed out to people organically. So people are likely to come across your video during those hours. Once those hours end, you're done. A platform like Facebook and Instagram might give you about 3 to 8 hours between there for your piece of content to be running. So that means that during those hours, there are high chances of somebody coming across your content once you have posted it.